All right, so this video is going to be for class 2 and class 2 on Friday the 27th, which is a white day, and also on the 30th, which is a red day. Okay, so this is class 2. And what we ended up doing in this class today is we did a mentor text. That mentor text is located in the reading and writing Schoology course. So you click on the orange mentor text folder and it opens up. It's Glitter Gets Everywhere. Okay, so you're going to open this up. If you have a printer, then you can print it and you can make annotations on it. That would be awesome. If you do not have a printer, what you'll need to do is on a separate sheet of paper, you're going to kind of just write things that you're noticing in the sense of like what you would underline, what you would say, you would write on a separate sheet of paper. So I'll kind of show you that. But this is the mentor text. You're going to read this, and then you're going to make annotations on it. And when I say make annotations, you guys know this, but that's basically you interacting with the text. And I want you to be able to go to this text again after those annotations and go, that's why I underline that. So there should also be words. It should not just be underlines. Okay. So what you can do is on a separate sheet of paper, that can be like where you take annotations if you're not able to print. So you'll just kind of write down things that stuck out to you while you wrote. So you'll actually write down that text that you read, that you saw, and then you'll kind of put your comment to the side of it. Like, I would have underlined this because, and you would kind of write down, oh, that's interesting, or oh, that's sad, or oh, that's funny, or whatever it may be, to have that interaction with the text. Okay. So I want you to go ahead. You're going to pause this video here in just a second, and I want you to read this and make those annotations. All right, so go ahead and pause, read this, make the annotations, and come back to me when you are done. All right, so at this point, you should have read this mentor text, and you should have created or made those annotations. Either you made the annotations because you were able to print it, or maybe you made annotations on a separate sheet of paper, meaning you wrote stuff down and you have comments on things on what that is. Okay? All right, so then what I'm going to have you do, since you've read that text, is I'm going to have you do a quick write for it. So on a separate sheet of paper, if you have the separate sheet of paper, you can do that fine. But then I want you to kind of draw a line up here. This is going to be a brainstorm, and this down here is going to be a quick write. And what I want you to do is I kind of want you to brainstorm what you just read. And thinking about like what we're doing with our project and that kind of stuff is you're having to think about narrative writing versus argument writing versus informational writing. So really quickly, you can even just say it in your head, what type of writing is this? Is this informational writing? Is this narrative writing? Or is it argumentative writing? Hopefully, you said it was narrative writing. So you can write down this narrative, because this is narrative writing. Okay? Because what you see in this narrative writing is you see that there are characters. You see that it is a story. I'm going to write story over here. Okay? And yes, I want you to write this. Okay? So we have characters. Something else that you also see in this after you read it is I'm hoping you saw that there was a lot of emotion in it. There were some feelings happening in there. Something else is that there's a conflict. Okay? So what I want you to do is in this brainstorm section is I want you to have it written kind of like this, but then underneath where it says characters, I want you to write down the characters that you noticed in what you just got done reading. Emotion, I want you to I want you to write down the emotions that were being felt during that first chapter of Glitter Gets Everywhere. And then the conflict, I want you to infer what you think the conflict was. Okay, so I'm going to give you about a minute or so to do that. So go ahead and pause this video. You can do that really quickly. So have that brainstorm filled out. All right, so at this point, you should have that brainstorm filled out. You should have characters that you saw. You should have that emotion that you felt or that the characters were feeling. And you should also have the conflict on what you thought it was, because that was an inference. Okay, so then down here in the quick write, what I want you to do is I want you to set a 3-minute timer. And during that 3-minute timer, what I would like for you to do is I want you to write what is happening. What has happened in the story? What are they referring to? What is your inference? What has happened? And then I want you to tell me why you think that. While you're thinking or trying to explain why you're thinking that, I want you to go back into the text and kind of find that textual evidence. Find details from the text to support your inference. So if you think that blank happened, you need to go back in the text and pick out some details that would support that inference. Okay, there's lots of different things on how this quick write could look. This quick write could look like, hey, here's a sentence, here's what I think happened. And then you could have bullet points in the sense of these are the textual evidence that support that whatever inference you're making. So if you want to do it that way, that's fine. If you want to write out a response, that's fine too. It does not need to look nice. It's really just, I want you to think about what you're reading. Okay? Because what we're going to do with this is that next week you're going to have to make sure that this is done and that mentor text is read, because you're going to have an assignment along with that mentor text. Okay? When you're done with doing that, I need for you to take a picture of this brainstorm and quick write, as well as the annotations if you had those on the other side. You're going to send a picture of that to me so that way I can say that you did it. And then when you get back to school, we will tape that into your notebook. All right, that's all I'm looking for you.